November 2024, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Of course, he went through the traditional treatments. He did chemo. Eventually, he did radiation twice, and he's also on immunotherapy. But this was because he was getting multiple scans, and eventually his cancer actually became completely undetectable after the first rounds of chemo. But then a few scans later, the cancer came back in his nose area. Then he went and got radiation. And then a few months later, after, again, he became undetectable, the cancer came back again, but instead in his hips. Then he did radiation there. So of course you can imagine, every single scan that happens, I'm getting a bit worried, like, what if the cancer comes up again? And my dad, of course, since he's the one with the cancer, obviously is much, much more worried. And I've heard a lot of other people call this Scanxiety. So like a mix of the word of scan and anxiety. And I really think this is quite a big problem. And to be honest, will contribute to that scan becoming bad. And that is through stress. And even if you don't believe that it is like feeding the cancer, what does stress do, right? Worrying about that scan, being in fear all the time, like that isn't great for your mental state, right? I certainly don't think it's good for my mental state. My dad certainly doesn't think it's good for his mental state. And then that stress alone causes inflammation. It makes it so the immune system is weakened. So then, of course, if you're on immune therapy or just in general to fight off the cancer or any other sickness, that is also affected in the person that you may be having the cancer right now and you're caring for. And also, of course, that stress is going to affect their sleep. If they can't sleep at night, how are they going to recover, right? That's the main time they want to recover. So let me talk about ways specifically that me and my dad together helped him reduce that stress, reduce the worry and anxiety about any scans that he has, which indirectly, I think, helps him. And going forward, I think will help him at least maybe reduce the chance of that scan turning out worse than it could have been if he just didn't have that stress. And just one more thing to talk more about sort of the science of how this anxiety about the scans can actually feed the cancer, is that if you think about stress, right, and worrying about the scans, that is sort of like you're out in the wild and there's a tiger that's chasing you. Of course, your body enters that stress state, fight or flight. So during a fight or flight state, and this is something that I thought about recently, is your body's going to prioritize the short-term survival over long-term survival. But typically these fight or flight situations and your body switching into that state and basically pumping up your blood sugar, increasing the stress. Also, you can like have more muscular strength, essentially get away from whatever predator is chasing you and then get to a safe zone. And then you calm down and go back into like a recovery state. But see, now with that increased blood sugar, very literally, more sugar in the blood, and my dad knows he wore a glucose monitor, and by wearing that glucose monitor, he knows what his blood sugar is at before. He doesn't wear one at the moment, but he knows every single time he goes to the hospital, he starts to get worried. And his blood sugar, while being fasted, he has eaten nothing for the day, will shoot up to like 100 from when it was like maybe around like 80s. I don't remember the exact number, but it was normal. And then boom, it would shoot up like 20 points just because he went to the hospital and he's like afraid of the needles. He just hates the hospital. So that's what really stress does. And what does that sugar do now and that additional inflammation in the body? Well, you can look into the science yourself. And I heard this from Thomas Zeyfried that pretty much all cancer, and he's a PhD biologist who researches cancer, all cancer will eat sugar to some degree. And you can argue whether the cancer will eat other things like fats or hormones or anything like that. But all cancer will, in pretty much all cells, living cells in existence, eat sugar. So by having that jacked up sugar in your body from the stress, of course, that will eventually, that cancer will eat some of that and then grow from it. So very literally, by my dad worrying about his scans, is almost like he's fulfilling the prophecy of the scan becoming bad. Like focusing on the problem almost makes it so the problem becomes a reality. But we can flip that focus around, and this is now getting into what me and my dad do to make it so he's less stressed and just generally feels better, in a better mental state, is now focus on the solution. And by focusing on the solution, the solution of having a better outcome of the scan, what can you do to improve the outcome of the scan? You're not ignoring the problem. You're still acknowledging the problem very much, that the cancer could come back. But you're flipping it into more of a positive light by just looking at the solution. The first thing that I would do personally as the caregiver is every single time I see my dad worried, and typically when a scan starts getting closer and closer and closer, like my dad gets scans about every 3 months, sometimes sooner, but he would genuinely, like, you could see like a little bit worried looking in his eyes. Like maybe he would just kind of be staring into space, or like he would be rubbing his hands together occasionally, or like gripping at his arm, or just generally not looking really energized or happy, kind of looks stressed out for no reason at all. Well, as the caregiver, as someone who really wants to help someone with cancer in your family right now, you see those things. And immediately when you see that, or immediately when I see it in my dad, I'll go up to him like, hey, like what's going on? What's wrong? Or like, what are you thinking about? And I'll just talk through it with him. He was like, oh, what? And usually it's like, oh, what if the cancer comes back? Or like, oh, I'm not feeling good right now. Or I've like, oh, I have this pain in my neck right now. Like, oh, what if it's cancer? And he starts to get all these worries. We'll talk him through it. Is it that they don't see the options? Like, they don't know what they could be doing? They feel like they're just waiting around, not doing anything, which the scans are going to be bad. They feel like maybe they know what to do, but they just can't get it done for whatever reason, like they don't feel strong enough. Well, then if they don't know what to do, help them find the options. Like, for example, if my dad has a neck pain, well, like I will suggest, hey, maybe just try to massage it out. Maybe it could just be a muscle sore instead. See, focusing on the solution rather than the problem, and that it could be potentially could be cancer. Like it could be cancer, but you're not going to know until the scan, right? So might as well just do what you can to help prevent that, or just reduce the stress from that. Or it was like, oh, they can't get it done for whatever reason. Well, how can you help them get it done? Can you get them a massage gun? Like I very literally bought a massage gun for my dad so he doesn't have to like do it himself. Or maybe like it's something that my mom does. My mom would just like massage his neck occasionally. And of course, there's many more situations that you can be in. This is just one example for my dad. You find the thing that they are worried about and help them clear it immediately. That's the first. And now let me give you two more tactical things that the person who actually has the cancer can do. Because of course, it's probably the most important thing to actually have that person be doing something to keep their mind off those really negative thoughts. And just a note that there's many more things like diet, exercise, sleep routines, all kinds of things that we do with my dad outside of just reducing stress. If you do want to learn about everything that I do and my dad does, I actually have the entire protocol that we created together in a free community that I made. So like basically hours and hours of videos. All there, you can track your progress. And also, given it's a community, I've been trying to gather people there that are really trying to be the caregiver for someone with cancer in their family. And you can discuss ideas with them. If that sounds like it would be helpful for you, it is just the top link in the description. You can click there, join, absolutely free. So now into the two things that they can do. It is one, external, and two, internal. So in external, the problem I would notice in my dad is that he sort of, particularly when the scans are starting to creep up, he would go and do things that like are in an effort to think that like, oh, I have no time left. So he would go and like try to do something physical that he isn't quite ready to do. He isn't quite have the strength to do. Like he would go and try to like fix something around the house, and he's not physically strong enough to do it. But it's like, oh, I'll force it out, and kind of hurt himself while doing it and stress him out and like use too much energy that he didn't really have, because he thinks like, oh, I don't have that much time left. And that thought only comes from when the scan's coming around. So what I have my dad instead is, again, from the first step of noticing it, I will see that like, oh, he's doing this kind of like external avoidance, trying to do something else to say like, oh, I have no time left because of this scan. Something bad is going to happen. Try to have a task for them to do that is helpful instead of hurtful if they're doing something like that. So like the example of my dad going try to like fix some like random plumbing in the house and hurt himself. Instead, I would just give him some light exercises to do, and that he can do those throughout the day instead. And even better, now moving to the internal roots, inner work that he can do to help clear the stress on his own. And of course, he can do that in replacement of those avoidant activities that he was doing because of the scans. And for my dad, that is mainly meditation. So you don't have to overcomplicate it at all. Really, if you're trying to think about why are these negative emotions affecting my dad, it's because he's sitting in those negative emotions and he has no control of them. Those negative emotions are not going to go away until the scan, he gets those results. And even if he gets the results and they're good, he's going to be like, oh, how long is it going to be good? So really what he needs to do instead is acknowledge those emotions and just let them pass. And that is how I really think about meditation. And maybe this is not really meditation, but rather just sitting in silence. Because when do you ever really like acknowledge the own thoughts in yourself? Like you can even do this yourself if you have like this Scanxiety, is you just sit there and you just breathe. Just focus on your breathing, nothing else. If a thought pops into your mind, just go right back to the breathing. Because usually, and especially thoughts about the scans, they're not actionable. If they're not actionable, but like they're just wearing you down, right? They wear on your mind. And this training of your mind through meditation of allowing these types of thoughts, these non-productive thoughts to pass, will just lower your stress. They really do. Like genuinely, when I don't do this type of activity, this meditation activity on the daily, I will actively feel worse, at least in my mind. And my dad, I can noticeably see him calmer when he does meditation. And I know it sounds like, oh, just sitting there doing nothing, how is that going to do anything? But what is it going to hurt? How is it going to hurt you, right? If you think it could help at all, the way I think about it is as long as it doesn't do any harm, why not try it? And if it doesn't work, you can do something else or just stop doing it, right? And just go back to what you were doing before. But I do think all of these little things do add up for my dad and why he's gotten to essentially a better place than the doctors ever expected of being undetectable. They honestly thought he was going to die 6 months ago, even with treatment. So the key takeaways here is really notice right away, help them talk through it. If you see them worried, have them do those internal things like meditation. And if you see them doing like avoidant type activities, give them something else to actually do those avoidant activities, but give them sort of the solution to the scan, something productive to actually do that would help their body heal in general, like the meditation, or maybe like exercise like my dad, or really anything else you can think of that would work for you specifically, and you know that whoever you're caring for right now would enjoy doing it, it is helpful for them. Now, if you found this video very helpful, YouTube also thinks this video will be most helpful for you to watch next. Alternatively, you can watch my latest video right here.